in the 5 kingdom classification, the second kingdom is the Kingdom Protista. So, the word Protista was derived from the Greek language, so which means first of all. And this concept or this word was given by Ernest Haeckel, scientist. These are the one which exist in the unicellular form or in the colonial form, and mostly they exist in unicellular form, and these are considered to be the ancestors to the immediate multicellular forms of living organisms. That is the reason why the scientists nowadays the scientists had made a group called as Protoctista. This Protoctista includes the unicellular organisms along with immediate multicellular forms. So, they included the multicellular forms also, that is why they had created a new group called as a Protoctista nowadays. So, but actually the Protista includes only the unicellular and unicellular colonial forms. And if you see the occurrence, these are mostly aquatic, and they are present in the fresh water or in the moist soils. Then when they are present in the fresh water, they may exist in the form of planktons, that is microscopic organisms, or sometimes they may exist in the form of a parasites also. And if you observe the structure of protistans, these are microscopic in their nature, and they have plasma lemma, or the plasma lemma is structure which surrounds the cells, or we can call it as a cell membrane also. But some members have the other structures like pellicle, cuticle, shell or cellulosic wall also. That means there is no clear demarcation of the structural characters related to the Protista. Why? Because there is a lot of diversity in the structure of the Protistan members. Then apart from this one, they have the cell organelles. As these Protistans are eukaryotic in their nature, they have the membrane bound cell organelles in them. The membrane bound cell organelles like mitochondria, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, and EATS type of ribosomes are also present. But what about the other cell organelle, that is chloroplast? So, here the Protista includes both the photosynthetic and the non-photosynthetic organisms. Whenever they have the photosynthetic organelles, those photosynthetic structures or organisms will contain the chloroplast in them. Only the photosynthetic one contains the chloroplast, and some will have the similar type of structures called as a lamellar chromatophores also. These chloroplast or the lamellar chromatophore structures will contain the pigments which are helping in the photosynthetic process. Here they have the cytoplasm. The cytoplasm will show streaming movements. This streaming movements is called as protoplasmic streaming movements or cytoplasmic streaming movements. So this characteristic feature was absent in the Monera group of individuals like in bacteria. Then locomotion in protistans. Here the protistans have the locomotory structures, but they have various types of locomotory structures. That is the reason why here also there is no clear demarcation of the locomotory organs. Some may have pseudopodia, some have flagella, some have cilia, and some will show the body movement along with the cytoplasmic changes. That is the reason why there is no clear demarcation in the locomotory structures. Let us start with the first one, pseudopodial locomotion. In examples like in amoeba, they have a special protrusions which are coming from the organism. So those are nothing but the cytoplasmic extensions. These cytoplasmic extensions are called as a pseudopodia, which will help in the locomotion of the organism. So this is because of cytoplasmic outgrowths. The cytoplasmic outgrowths are formed. These cytoplasmic outgrowths in the form of protrusions are called as a pseudopodia. With the help of the pseudopodia, they will move the body. The next one is flagellar locomotion. So they have a special organs called as flagella, and this flagella is made up of a protein called as flagellin, and the number of flagella may be either one or more. This flagella will show whip-like movement. When more than one flagella is present, these two flagella, when two flagella or more than two flagella are present, these two flagella will beat independent of each other. So this type of whip-like movement can be seen in example like euglena. Then third one is a ciliary locomotion. Here when you observe, when you compare the character of flagella and cilia, flagella number will be less compared to the number of cilia. Here the cilia is nothing but small tuft of locomotory structures, and they will show a type of movement called as oar-like movement. Oar-like movement. Here this all the cilia will show the synchrony, that is relationship will be existing such that they will showing some synchronous type of movement. Based on that one, isochronic movement and metachronic movement are present. In the isochronic movement, all the cilia beat simultaneously, and whereas in the metachronic one group, here they have been divided into groups, and one group after the other group, that is they are showing rapid synchrony one after the other. So there is a slight variation in the ciliary movement, that may be isochronic or the metachronic type of movement. So this can be seen in examples like paramecium. So next one is wriggling movement. So wriggling movement is exhibited by the sporozoans, where wave of contraction and expansion is taking place. Because of the wave of contraction and expansion, the movement will be taking place. This type of movement is called as a wriggling movement, exhibited by the sporozoans. So likewise locomotion by mucilage propulsion. So this is the way how this they will secrete some mucilage. With the help of this mucilage, the locomotion will be taking place. So this type of character can be seen in the diatoms. So the next character in them is a nutrition. Here some of the members of a protista are phototrophic, we can prepare their own food materials, but at the same time some of them are showing parasitic or heterotrophic type of nutrition also. Based on that one, the first type of nutrition is the photosynthetic or holophytic type of nutrition. In the photosynthetic or holophytic type of nutrition, they perform the photosynthetic process by absorbing carbon dioxide and water from the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, water is taken, and with the help of these two they are helping in the production of the food materials. And for this process, they require some pigments. The pigments which are required for this process are the chlorophyll pigment, which is very much existing in those organisms. Such type of nutrition is called as a photosynthetic type of nutrition, which can be seen in diatoms. Then second type of nutrition is the holozoic type of nutrition or zootrophic type of nutrition. In the holozoic or zootrophic type of nutrition, the organism will capture the food and ingest it, that is swallow the food materials, and whenever it have been swallowed or ingested, it will get digested inside the body. This type of nutrition can be seen in amoeba and paramecium. Then next one is saprophytic type of nutrition. Saprophytic type of nutrition is the one where they acquire the nutrients or acquire the nutrition from the dead and decaying organic matters. So they cannot perform photosynthesis, they cannot prepare their own food materials, they will depend upon the dead and decaying organic matter. This type of mechanism where they start absorbing the nutrients from the dead parts. So this can be seen in the slime molds. Next one is parasitic type of nutrition. In the parasitic type of nutrition, the organisms will acquire nutrition from living host, and at the same time they not only acquire the nutrition from the living host, but they cause diseases or harm to the host also. Like when this can be seen in examples like trypanosoma, plasmodium like organisms. Then mixotrophic type of nutrition. So this is the type of nutrition where they are exhibiting dual nature of the nutrition depending upon the conditions. Like in euglena like examples, they may show holotrophic type of nutrition whenever the light is available, and they at the same time they may exhibit saprophytic type of nutrition also whenever the conditions are not suitable or whenever the light is not available. So this type of nature can be exhibited by some of the members like euglena. So this type of organisms are showing the mixotrophic type of nutrition. Then the next one is a symbiotic type of nutrition. So here the two different organisms are associated with each other, and that mutual beneficial association is called as a symbiotic association, and in this process both of them are benefited. So this is a way how these two beneficial organisms or two organisms which have been associated with each other get benefited by this one. Symbiotic type of nutrition can be exhibited by some of the members of Protista. Examples like Trichonympha and Lophomonas will exhibit this symbiotic type of nutrition. Here in the nutrition also there is no clear demarcation, so there is no such restricted characteristic feature related to the nutrition. The next one is a respiration. Here some of them are considered to be present in the deeper parts of the waters, so they will perform anaerobic respiration, but majority of them are performing aerobic respiration, that is respiration by using oxygen. And the bottom dwellers which are present in the deeper parts of the aquatic environment, they will perform anaerobic type of respiration. Method of reproduction. The protistan members will exhibit asexual reproduction and sexual reproduction. Let us see how the asexual method of reproductions are done by these members of protista. So they perform asexual reproduction by special type of structures called as a spores. So these spores which are liberated from the parent. So here as we know that asexual reproduction is an process where single parent is participating, and the spores which are produced from the single parent, they give rise to the daughter generation, or many number of daughter plants are produced from the spores released by the single parent, and all the daughter organisms appears to be similar, so we can call them as a clone. Then sexual reproduction. Here the members of protista will perform sexual reproduction. Here in this one it includes two, that is meiosis and fertilization. So meiosis here where the diploid structures will be formed, those diploid structures will undergo meiosis to produce the gametes, and the gametes will be generally haploid in their conditions, and these two gametes will participate in the fusion. The fusion of haploid gametes will be taking place. When the two haploid gametes are fused, it will result into a structure called as zygote, which is a diploid structure, and the fusion of the two gametes, that is male and female gamete, is called as fertilization process. So once the zygote is formed, so this zygote may either undergo mitosis or meiosis depending upon the nature or ploidy of the plant body. If the plant is if the protistan is an haploid one, the zygote will undergo meiosis. That's why we call it as a zygotic meiosis. And if protistan is an diploid, or the protistan body is an diploid one, so the zygote will undergo repeated mitosis to produce the diploid body, and in that one the meiosis will occur during the formation of the gametes. So that's why we call it as a gametic meiosis. Likewise, some members will exhibit gametic meiosis and some members will exhibit zygotic meiosis during the process of sexual reproduction. Protistans are classified into three groups. One is algal protists, which includes diatoms, dinoflagellates and euglenoids. And second group is decomposer protists, which include Physarum. And third one is protozoan protists. So this protozoan protist includes amoeba, paramecium like examples. So likewise these groups are divided into, that is the kingdom protista was divided into algal protists, decomposer protists and the protozoan protists. Let us start with the first one, the algal protists. So these algal protists are so called because they are showing the characteristic features of the algae. That is, these are photosynthetic and autotrophic in their nature.